Hello there, general audiences. Aren't you bold ones for tuning? I I hope you can hear me. It's been a while since I did this. It isn't working as well as it should. Yellow. That usually is what happens, but with a little bit of luck, it go back to green as it should. And in the meantime, we'll just advertise it and hopefully get some people in the chat on music. Clickbait. Literally. To the music channel. All right, perfect. There we go. Good evening, Domi. It is, yeah, it is 11 a.m. I am streaming because my classes start at 11:30 tomorrow, and I don't have to get up. And as such, I can do whatever I want. Else. Also, hi Jade Ken. What's up? I'm doing good. Trying to work on some. Been talked on a late. We have a couple projects going on. Quite happy. That kind of first drop phase of the project, and that happens to be somewhat frustrating, but we'll get there. Yeah, hope all of you are having. I should change my setup so the cable from my microphone isn't touching my mouse. Oh, am I? Am I cutting out? Okay. Let me know if it gets better now. I changed the microphone location a little bit and turned up the gain. It should be better. But I have to have the noise gate set up pretty high, so there's not like constant white noise from the laptop fans in the background. Though I suppose that is preferable to cutting out, so I'll have to mess with that if the problems persist. Okay. Okay, let's just play this back. See what happens. Nothing good, I'm sure. What do you mean by never sounding produced? Or like, there's a lot of ways that I could read that. I'm not sure which one you actually meant to say. I guess in this case, I'm working with a lot of acoustic samples, because that's just kind of the sound that I'm going for. Um, Also, hi Tom. Good to see you. That's not quite right, is it? That's just odds. Yeah, cheers, man. Like, especially in this kind of style, like, which is basically slow drum funk with like a whole lot of halftime elements. Is I think it's very important to have like an organic feel to your drums, so it doesn't. I don't I don't have like a well worded explanation for what exactly like the definition of the sound is that I'm trying to achieve, but if you listen to some of the reference tracks that I could give you, like Aussie stuff or Echo stuff, like they very much work with these live recordings as well, because it really gives everything a much more organic feel, which I think is very important for crafting atmospheres. Um, since a lot of these clearly digital, like clear cut 2019 EDM mix sounds, they have their time and place. They exist for a reason. Like club music exists for a reason, but and this is definitely not club music, because they serve a fundamentally different purpose. So I think here specifically, it's important to have like a soundscape that feels like it's not it doesn't consist of singular elements, but everything just kind of fits into the same uh, space in which it could be, heard as a, I don't want to say a live piece, but as a complete performance. So I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I mean, ultimately, it kind of boils down to what you're trying to do. I think, when I'm trying to make a neurofunk banger, like, excuse me for using that phrasing specifically, but you want everything to be super clear cut and super punchy because the mix requires it to do, like, for you to do that this way. There is no way that you can get away with like all of the tails on your overheads and your snares and that sort of thing if you're, aiming to have a super concise, super loud, and very clean kind of sound that will really go on a big system. Uh, in which case, for all intents and purposes, I'm sure there's a lot of sample pack drums that exist specifically for that kind of style. But yeah, um, to make nice organic drum breaks from pre-existing sounds is something that's actually pretty difficult. I've struggled with quite a lot. If you see what I'm doing here, this is pretty much four different samples layered together and chopped up a whole bunch just to sound like something that a real person could have played with the kinds of snare tones that I want. Um, and it's just incredibly tedious to do that, but worth it. I think, and in my opinion, I think it's worth it. Also, cheers, Lenny. Uh, Feels good to hear that from you, mate. Don't worry about hugging to chat, mate. It's like you can't really do that effectively if there's only four people in the stream, and I'm just happy to have someone to talk to. That's always nice. Um, I think ultimately it depends kind of on what your philosophy is. I think you'll get a very different answer if you ask someone like Haiti or if you ask someone like myself or literally every other producer because everyone has kind of their own attitude. Uh, which I'm sure you're aware of, which which is why you asked for my opinion specifically. My opinion specifically is that sampling is cool. I think it can be used to achieve textures in your song that otherwise would be pretty much off limits for anyone who doesn't have almost unlimited resources in terms of commissioning live recordings of particular stuff. um like I can't go out there and, with my university student salary, pay someone to record a whole bunch of instruments for me in a studio. So if I want that kind of like, if I want the texture of live instruments in certain elements of a track, then it's a reasonable idea to say, well, here's audio that already exists that I can, sample and chop up and use in the way that I think would benefit my song. And for me, I always kind of draw the line at whether that fits, like whether it's okay or not to do that, by whether or not it fits my, like, the textbook definition of free use of other people's copyrighted material, which is, um, as far as I understand it, like, I'm not a lawyer or anything, but as far as I understand it, it's as long as you're not detracting from the audience of the thing that you use in your own work, it's okay to use it. Like, if whatever you do with the sample is so transformative that it becomes something entirely new at someone that wants to listen to that particular thing has to go listen to the original rather than listening to your work, I think you're fine. Like, there are several of my tracks that sample things like, um parts of the foley of, like, the Lord of the Rings films, or like bullshit like that. And like, no one's going to listen to my music instead of watching the Lord of the Rings. I think everyone who wants to watch the Lord of the Rings will watch those movies, as I'm not really like siphoning off any of their profits or anything. I'm just, using the stuff available to me to, uh, make something that I think is cool personally. And I think that's a perfectly valid approach, both in terms of, artistic integrity and, legal issues. So that's kind of where I stand on this. As far as like paid sample packs and that sort of stuff goes, um, it's cool. Like, everyone can use however much they're comfortable with. I personally think it's more conducive to develop your specific sound, to try and do as much yourself as you can, especially when you're starting out and you kind of, you know, don't really have a clear idea of what kind of music you want to make yet, or something like that. But in general, I think either way is fine. Do you prefer hand recorded or pre-made sounds? Generally, I try to do as much as I can myself. If I'm sampling something, then I try to stick to hand recorded, uh, things that aren't necessarily meant to be part of a sample pack. I always feel like kind of a assembling something from pre-made sample packs always feels like you're kind of playing with Lego. And I love Lego, but like, ultimately you're removing some of the originality, from your work if you're sticking to pieces that someone else made for you instead of just making your own pieces. And if you're making your own pieces, you're always going to have something that's more original, and like, as a result. And I'm not saying that there's never valid reasons to use sample packs. There's millions of them. Like, you don't have to make every riser in your song, or like every drum, like every percussion element in your song for it to be original work. But as a rule, I think it's always nice to think about whether it's appropriate to use a stocky sound. Like, if you want to make a downlifter, and, you can think about, could I make something cool that would fill the niche that I'm trying to fill for this track specifically, or would a generic downlifter really be the best solution. And if the answer to that question is the latter, then go ahead, use a generic downlifter from a sample pack. If you think that there's something else to be done here that would create a better product as an end result, then I would encourage everyone to go ahead and, you know, try to make a sound that specifically serves the purpose that you want it to serve in the song that you're working on. But yeah, I think it's very difficult to give any general answers to these sorts of things. It's kind of on a case-by-case basis. Anyway, just gonna I feel I've been rambling for like 10 minutes now. So I'll just, you know, try to work on some music. Well, what was I doing? There were certain things I wanted to do. Which was hmm. So I kind of wanted to use this as an intro for this track, but I haven't really figured out a way to stitch these things together yet. I'm kind of struggling with that a little bit. However, before I do that, there's actually something I wanted to get on first, which is over the weekend, I was actually able to record a whole bunch of guitar noodling, and some of that, which is just like, you know, me trying to mess around within a specific key because I don't really know what I want to do yet. But this kind of stuff was really perfect as granulizer source material. And as you all know, granulizers are the best thing that anyone has ever developed in audio processing. So I am definitely on that. So I need to find the file, which I think is untitled project November 02 underscore 5. That sounds about right. Okay, so let's work with that. Okay, before I do anything else, I should probably remove the noise from this. Because I'm a smart person, I didn't really leave any recording room in here that has nothing but noise. I'm just gonna take this. Okay, let's try that. Acquire noise profile and accept. Clean that for me, please. That's going to take a while because it's a long file, but we'll get there. What's this stuff? I kind of like this. I don't even know what chord this is playing, but okay, let's see if I can stick this into a granulizer and something should happen. Is EP number 2 going to be shim themed again? I thought about it, and I've come to the conclusion that no, I'm not going to make another Shimmer EP. Shocking, I know. But what I am going to do is I'm going to kind of go back to the roots, which is a ridiculous thing to say, really. But I am going to take some of the stuff that I was, you know, theming my tracks after for tunes like Empire Past or Peacekeeper or Breaking of Dawn, and I'm kind of going to extrapolate an EP like I don't necessarily want to say story yet because I haven't figured out a way to string it together cohesively as of this moment, but that's kind of my goal here to uh kind of string together a short narrative that I can attach these tracks to, so they're a bit more meaningful than just if I presented them completely separately from each other. And the idea there kind of being kind of Celestia's struggle to consolidate power after the Nightmare Moon incident, like 1,000 years ago. Yeah, like it's kind of generic, but I like the. I think it's quite appealing to look at it from a more like not necessarily from a canon perspective, because canon doesn't really say anything about what went on there, or for all intents and purposes, like they don't really specify anything like in that time period. But there's a I go on about this in the video description for the Breaking of Dawn upload on my YouTube channel for quite a long time, but there's a fanfic called Monsters up on FimFiction, which kind of deals with that, like the fallout of what happened, and kind of elaborates on the themes of how one might go on about returning stability to your like continent-wide kingdom after a major like security event of that sort that is for all intents and purposes unprecedented. And it's pretty grimy. It's pretty grimy, and I love it. And I think it fits very well with the kind of style of music that I want to write. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at currently. It's called Monsters. It's by a guy called God, I forget his name. Um, hang on. Let me find that. Mm, let's see. Yeah, it's by a dude called Jojo, uh like Jaws and Joe. That could be a JoJo pun now that I think about it. That's the first time I ever had that thought. God damn it. Oh, hello there, Alex. Joe friend. Hi, Pumpkin. I'm doing okay. How about you? Is this the right record? Yeah, yeah, this is the right recording because all this stuff is for other projects. My absolute pitch is just garbage. Like I cannot tell what key something is in. I guess I should say my relative pitch case, but still it's kind of embarrassing. What is it? This is a tune for my new EP. Maybe something a bit longer than an EP. Um I'll just play the relevant part, okay? For everyone who just joined. Butt pain, indeed. I haven't been sitting here for long enough for my butt to be in any significant pain. Do you mean this one? Oh, goodness, I don't even know. That's Yeah, that's got like some distortion, some dimension expander, and Valhalla room on it. I think the clean sample is. Oh, the live drums. Okay, Splash 3 live drums. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of that goes into the same bus, actually. Um, when did I start working on this one? Not so long ago, actually. I think I did it on the train like 2 weeks ago. But the original idea was very different. Like, I was going to make this a trap song. I still have the 808 in here. I think everyone agrees that this is not good. There's no snare anymore, but no halftime snare, I guess. But the idea is still there. But everyone disliked that. The 808 itself is not bad, but I think what I ended up doing is much better. Okay, so what was I? Oh, that has the fucking drums in it now. Okay. Um, where's Granulaser? No, I make trap every now and then, like not festival trap, but I you know there was a time in my life when I was very much partial to the bedroom producer uh, SoundCloud trap aesthetic. There's still artifacts of that in my music every now and then. Hang on, let me find something. Yeah, boy. So this is the kind of stuff I'd make. Yeah. Needless to say, I think I've kind of departed from that specific sound, but it's super edgy, dude. It's super edgy. I think that probably is some of the edgiest stuff that I did ever. So if I remember correctly, this was just like a full This was like 2016, like summer of 2016, I think. I was dicking around with Alex from uni quite a lot, and he was into that shit. So it would like make this super dark, like very much purposefully hard clipped and lo-fi music. And I still think that's a cool sound from every now and then, but you know, not as my main aesthetic. Sup. Uh, I don't remember ever pronouncing your new alias on stream. Is it Nil Nilhi Nilchi? I you'll have to educate me on that. F109 is easier. So, but hi. Hope you're having a good time of day, whatever it is for you. Um, right. Okay, so that guitar. I'm just gonna bind these to like knobs on my MIDI keyboard and then like record a whole bunch of modulation while I'm twisting the knobs, and hopefully some of that is going to sound cool. Are we recording? Yeah. That's super quiet. Hang on. Better. And I didn't enable the loop, which is also very smart of me. Okay. I know how to use this plugin. Don't worry. I'm not totally dumb. Okay, that should be enough for now. We'll see. We'll see if it's any good in the context of the song. So, God, I wish it would not bump the fucking microphone cable with my hand all the time, but I don't really have a good solution for that right now. This setup needs a lot of work, especially in the cable management department. So, hmm. Who would tag me to tell me good job on a stream? Anyway, never mind that. I'm getting notifications. Okay, oh shit. I guess I will have to deal with that at some point as well. Just a whole bunch of personal stuff. I'll see how much compression it needs in the context of the job. Yes. Oh geez. Okay, give me a moment. I'll be back in a second.